All right, we're back with round number 4. And it looks like we lost the die roll. Never lucky. Hand is great, though. I'm joking around about the lucky stuff. People love to talk about the luck with this deck. There is quite a bit of luck, but there's also a lot of decisions to make. They're really condensed into fewer turns. So, and top decks are very, very important. So it oftentimes feels either like you got unlucky or very lucky with the deck or against the deck. And it's never a fun deck to play against, to be honest. I don't like playing against it. I don't like the mirror match either. It is fun to play, though. Alright, so the hand is very good. I think actually because oh, well, there's that. That's pretty good. At least he probably won't be able to cast a Thalia on turn 2, which is pretty ideal for us. That card's very good against our hands. Kind of. Not really, actually. We just need another land. Like, we can beat that. We can beat a Caracas if we draw 14 cards. If we draw 7, we often lose, as you saw. But we pretty much only have one more turn here to draw the land needed to do that, to beat that Caracas. A land, a petal, or a land petal, or Dark Ritual would do it. And he doesn't have a port, which is pretty important for us, because a port would slow us down so much as well. If he was a blue deck, we would have played the land and Entombed, because we have 3 Entombs. So it's okay to bait or try and get him to spend some of his counter magic on these Entombs rather than just cleaning up. And that way, the single animate that we had in our hand was more likely to eventually resolve. Okay, so he's going for the this line, which means there's a good chance he doesn't have a Thalia in his hand, which would be good for us. Because if he had a Thalia in his hand, I think he probably just casts the Mother of Ruin on turn 1, and then on turn 2, he can cast the Thalia without worrying about the Chancellor trigger stopping that. That I may or may not be right about that. He also may have drawn the Mother of Ruins, and he also might draw a Thalia next turn if he doesn't have one. It really comes down to whether or not we draw a land right now. Oh, interesting. I think he forgot to pay for Mother of Ruins. All right, we drew the land, so I feel very strong that we will, or very good chances that we win this game now. Through the Caracas, through potential Dahlias, we got to draw 14 cards, so it's hard to lose when you draw 14. Harder, much harder than the 7. Or yeah, you saw what happens with the 7. So he'll probably Caracas now, and we'll draw another 7. So at least we have an Unmask and a Dark Ritual for the follow-up. And we have 2 more Entombs. If we draw a Petal, we're in like really, really good shape. No Petal, but we have multiple discards here. We can get rid of 1 Gristlebrand. We only need 1 or 2. And by 2, I mean because of Swords to Plowshares can eat 1 once we deal with the Caracas with Ashen Rider. Our Gristlebrand connecting is important. So if it gets sorted, we'd like to have a second one potentially. Get to see what his hand is here. Well, the Death and Taxes deck can't really respond with instants without mana, so I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully it gets sorted out quickly for us, so we can move on to his next turn. and then I can have my next turn, which will be a really cool turn. I'll get a bunch of stuff into play. Unless he wastelands me, then I might only get a little bit of stuff into play. Okay. So his hand, he's got a port, which he probably should have played actually, instead of the Mother of Ruins. But he doesn't have a Thalia. I think we don't want him to get Sanctum Prelate. That's for darn sure. Flicker Wisp, not too worried about. Sword of Fire and Ice is quite good against us. I think we just want to get rid of both threats for now. And then he can decide if he wants to play. Let me see. How many Reanimate Deads do I have? Just one? That might be a problem. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, but hopefully not too big of a problem. Let's exile the Reanimate. Probably end up discarding one as well. And let's get rid of the Flicker Wisp. Yeah. It makes it so we really need more Animate Deads rather than Exhumes, but I think the first Exhume's kind of okay. We can use the first Exhume to get back an Ashen Rider if that's what we want, and then we can flash back Therapy with Ashen Rider to exile the Caracas if that's also what we need. Let's make sure we get all these creatures in the bin. And let's see, I think we're going to go ahead and get rid of Reanimate, even though that leaves us with just Animate Dead, but I think that hopefully is good enough. With the, do we have a looting? No, we don't have a looting. Alright, well he's done, so. I think we still had a game there. I only had one Animate Dead. I guess he doesn't know that, but that, yeah. Oh, well that would have been a really unfortunate draw. We would have had a Therapy ourselves. I guess that's not the end of the world. Alright, so we're back to the Caracas matchup thing. So we want a Elishnorn, of course, and Iona, of course, and then we want these for Caracas, and we want this for Caracas, and we want this for, you know, problematic creatures and maybe a, you know, a cage or something like we lost to, but I don't think D&T usually plays cage, but it kills creatures, which is kind of nice. And then we want to get rid of one Reanimate, because if we cast that, we might lose, like you saw. At least two of these. Yeah, one of these, even though it was kind of good against him game one, it shouldn't have been. He must have drawn the Mother of Runes based on what we saw in his hand. Yeah, it's pretty good, like, after you've comboed, you know, because it can't be Caracas, but we also have plenty of stuff for Caracas. So let's cut two of those, and you know, Therapy's not that great. It's nice with Ashen Rider, but we only need one or two. Alright, we're going to keep two because of Ashen Rider, and cut the third Chancellor because one is probably a good target later on. You know, probably ends up getting swords or something like that. Looks like we went all the way to the time. All right, here we go. Game 2. All right, yep, game 2. So in this matchup, we're kind of mostly looking for a turn 1 reanimate Gristlebrand, because after turn 1, they're going to have so many more things they can do. On turn 1, the only thing they can really do is Surgical Extraction or Fairy Macabre, and if they're playing Cage, but most of them aren't in D&T. So Surgical Extraction and Fairy Macabre are their main things, but on turn 2, they have lots and lots of stuff, including Justalia and Port, good stuff. So this hand, it could turn into a turn 1 if this looting is insane. If it hits a reanimate. So we have 1 draw step. I think I actually like this. So it also has a unmask, which could be good against surgical. We have this, which is good against some things as well, including Fairy Macabre. If we draw a creature on turn 1, that's great. If we draw an Entomb or Reanimate, that's great too. And then we can loot into the other half. So we have like 3 draw steps to draw both parts of our combo, but we have everything we need to like enable that. So I'm going to keep it. It's a little bit not great, but it gives us a chance. And then our chances in game 3 are much better because we have 2 turns before things get sketchy for us. Okay. So we didn't draw either half. I'm gonna, instead of playing around, I guess I'm still looking to, yeah, I'm gonna unmask them and hope that they only have like 1 good card against us. And I can like play this out and maybe loot next turn or this turn. But I don't really want to loot this turn since we didn't hit any part of our combo. Okay, this is, yeah, that's pretty good for us. It pretty much gives us 1 more turn because we can get rid of this Thalia now. And then he's just going to have Mother of Runes as his play, and we don't have to worry about that Wasteland. We could even cast the Pithing Needle on Wasteland or Pithing Needle on Fairy Macabre now. But if we cast it on Fairy Macabre, then we have to get a basic, which might be correct anyway because we have this Petal to loot. Okay. And I'm not too worried about the Mother of Runes. Also, maybe the Mother of Runes is what we want to end up needling. And just hope he doesn't draw Fairy Macabre. I don't think we really care that much about Wasteland. I think he's supposed to just, I think he would cast the Mother Runes unless he drew something else like a Containment Priest. We have an answer to the Containment Priest, kind of. He attacked the Mother Runes, so we do have an answer to Containment Priest, but I don't think he has a Containment Priest. Or he wouldn't have attacked, right? Like, it doesn't seem like a reasonable thing to do. Okay, so we drew half, so that's good. Now, it is a bit weak to a Containment Priest, but I don't think he would have attacked. If he did, oh, I got the wrong land. That's okay. Well, we need to get it this turn now. Kinda. Entomb or creature, or mostly Gristlebrand or Entomb. Okay, sweet. I think we need to keep the... Which one do we keep? Okay. We're going to keep the Abrade because we can Dark Ritual. We can Dark Ritual, and then we have enough mana to kill a priest if he puts it into play. Right? Yeah. So that's ideal. Hopefully he didn't draw a Fairy Macabre or a Surgical. But you can't play around everything all the time, and the 2 mana makes me think it's possibly as a priest. The attack makes me think he probably doesn't. It could be a Swords to Plowshares. That we will probably be. Path to Exile will be a little better. Okay, So it's probably a Swords to Plowshares, or just he didn't want to play his Mother of Runes for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna draw another 7 before I therapy him. Okay. We didn't draw any good reanimate spells. So if he has a Swords to Plowshares, it is very good against us. Puts us down. We can reanimate. Anyway, we're gonna do this first. We have plenty of Gristlebrands. Dark Ritual would be nice, but we don't have that. This will be pretty good. Yeah, he's done. So, depending on what he had there, looks like he had nothing, but we had lots of options. We could loot into a couple creatures into the graveyard. We could cast this on either on Wasteland, or probably Mother of Ruins, because if he puts Sanctum Prelate on 1, although 2 would be better, we can kill it. We could also put this on Caracas if this stayed in play, if he didn't have a way to kill it right now, and then we could try and get an Iona soon on white. So this on Caracas and Iona on white is very strong. Anyway, game's over. We'll be back for round number 5.